Your face is betraying you, and there is nothing you can do to stop it. At some point in your life, it happened. A compliment caught you off guard. Someone called you out in front of a crowd. A wave of heat crawled up your neck, and your face turned red. And the worst part, everyone could see it. You tried to stop it. You told yourself to stop, but you couldn't, because blushing is the only human expression that is completely involuntary and completely impossible to fake. But here's what scientists have puzzled over for more than a century. Why do we blush at all? No other animal on Earth does this. Not chimpanzees, not dolphins, not even our closest genetic relatives, only humans turn red with embarrassment. Charles Darwin himself called blushing the most peculiar and most human of all expressions. He was fascinated by it and genuinely baffled, because from a purely evolutionary standpoint, blushing makes absolutely no sense. It signals vulnerability. It draws attention to the exact moment you most want to disappear. It announces to everyone in the room that something has gone wrong. So why didn't evolution eliminate it? Why did it survive for tens of thousands of years? The answer reveals something extraordinary about what it truly means to be human. When you feel embarrassed or ashamed, your brain sends a signal through your autonomic nervous system, the system that runs entirely on autopilot. It controls your heartbeat, your breathing, your digestion. You never consciously direct any of it. It just runs in the background. That signal triggers adrenaline, and adrenaline causes the tiny blood vessels in your face to suddenly expand. Blood floods your cheeks, your forehead, your ears, even the sides of your neck. The result is that unmistakable flush you cannot suppress, cannot hide, and cannot stop, no matter how hard you try. But here is what makes blushing unlike any other reaction in your body. Every other adrenaline response exists to help you survive a threat. Muscles tighten, heart races, senses sharpen, everything prepares you to fight or run. Blushing does the exact opposite. It makes you more visible, more exposed, more vulnerable. It is as if your own body is raising a flag and announcing to the room, I know something went wrong here. And that is precisely the point. Scientists now believe blushing did not evolve as a flaw in the human system. It evolved as a social signal, one that only carries meaning when other people are present, watching, and deciding whether or not to trust you. Think about what blushing actually communicates. When your face turns red after being caught in a lie, after saying something hurtful by accident, after failing in front of others, you're not just showing discomfort. You are sending a deeper message that social rules matter to you, that you feel the weight of having broken them. There is another clue hidden in when blushing happens. We do not blush because of physical pain. We blush when other people are involved, when we suddenly become aware of ourselves through someone else's eyes. In a way, blushing is not just embarrassment, it is social awareness. Research has found something remarkable. People who blush after a social mistake are consistently judged as more trustworthy, not less. When someone's face turns red, we unconsciously read it as authenticity, as this person is not hiding what happened, they feel it, they are being real. In other words, blushing makes you more human in the eyes of everyone watching, and that may be precisely why evolution never let it disappear. Human survival has always depended on cooperation, on building trust across complex groups, and trust requires some reliable signal that the person beside you actually cares about shared rules, shared community. Blushing is your body providing that signal, whether you want it to or not. You cannot fake a real blush. You cannot produce one on command, which means when it happens, it is genuine. And in a species that has spent hundreds of thousands of years reading the people around them, that genuineness carries a weight that words alone never could. One final piece of this story, and it may be the most surprising of all. Studies show that people who never blush, who seem completely immune to embarrassment, are rated as less trustworthy, less likable, and less emotionally connected. The total absence of blushing sends its own signal, a colder one. So the thing you have spent your life trying to hide, that involuntary flash of red at the worst possible moment, may actually be one of your greatest social assets. Your blush is not a weakness, it is a signal, a deeply human one. It says, I belong here. I care what you think. I know when I have crossed a line. No other creature on earth can say all of that just by standing perfectly still. And maybe that is not something to be embarrassed about at all. That is the question we started with, and there is still more to it. If you like this, subscribe. Why Humans keeps exploring what makes us human.